Hi, welcome back. In this video, I'll show you how to send an email which contains an attachment, a file attached to the email. And we're going to send the email from Hotmail or Outlook. So the code you're looking at is the code we built in the previous video. And all we have to do is just add some code here just before we establish the server connection and sending the email. So between that and that code, so we're not going to touch this code or that one, just add the code that prepares the attachment. We will start from declaring the path to the file we want to attach. Attachment path, for example. Now, I don't have any file here, so you need a file in your project directory. So just upload any file that you have in your computer, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to just go to upload file, and I have something here, tiger.jpg, so it's a picture, you can upload any file. So now this is in my local directory here, in my project root directory. That means I can point to that file by just writing the name tiger.jpg, like that. So the files should be in the same directory with your main.py file, with this script. Then attachment file is equal to open attachment path in RB mode. So what we're doing is we are creating a Python file object. This function actually returns a file object. So it gets that path and it creates a file object, which we're going to need later on. Next, we're going to create a so-called payload, which is equal to MIME base, which is an object of the MIME protocol, and we need to import that also. So go to the imports and say from email.mime.base import MIME base. So we instantiate that here. The first argument is application. So these are some protocols that you need to declare in the form of strings. Stream octet, stream is the second one. And then you point to payload, the variable, and then call the setPayload method, which expects as argument the file object, which is attachment file, and actually it expects the contents of that file object. So to get the contents, you need to use read. The read method extracts the contents from that file. So this basically is the content of that tiger.jpg file in binary mode. Then you also need to add a header to payload using the add header method, which expects the name, which should be content disposition. So be careful with that, content disposition. The second argument is you want to declare that this is about attachment. And then the last argument of the add header method is the file name argument, which is equal to attachment path. Why? Well, because this contains the name of the file you want to attach. And so file name, wherever you place here, is going to be used as the name of the file attached in the email. If you don't have this argument, then Python will set a generic file name for the attached file. So it makes sense to have the same name as the original name here. So I'm going to place here attachment file path. And that's it. Finally, you want to say message.attach, and you want to attach the payload variable. So that one that we created in here, and we added the content of the file and the header to that attachment. And that's it. run the code, and look at the output. So this one in here is the content, which is binary. So that's this message here. It contains some binary code because of a JPEG file. But then we have this Unicode error. To fix this, you want to import in the import lines in here, you want to import from email import encoders, and then use that encoders just after you set the payload. So between set payload and add header, you want to point to the encoders and then to the encode base64 method, and then enter payload there. So that will convert the payload into base64 format. So basically it will convert the attachment into this base64 format. So run again. No errors. Let's check the email. You'll have to wait a while. Yep, so that's the email. So hi there, there's the text, that's the body of the email, and the attachment tiger.jpg. So that concludes this video. This is how you send an email and attach a file to that email using Outlook or Hotmail. So thank you for following, and let's have some more videos. That's a lot of content in the course. So I'll see you later.